Hell yeah. Back with another episode of Terrace and the Riff, and I'm joined by the dudes in green gasoline. How y'all doing, man?
Oh, we're doing
Great.
good.
I'm good, brother.
Joining me is, I can remember, Logan,
Yeah, hello.
Dylan,
What's up?
John,
What up?
and Chewy.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, man, y'all have no idea how like intense that was to remember y'all fucking names.
You did good.
All right, so man, y'all played a show last night in Baton Rouge. I was sorry that I cannot be there. I had prior engagement, but man, I know y'all fucking probably brought the house down. Like the time I was telling Dylan, I caught y'all at Santos with, it was an amazing set, top to bottom. I was totally blown away. And John and I were trying to link up after that show, but, life happens on so many levels. So, but I'm finally glad that we got it done, or we get it done today. So,
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
oh man, thanks for reaching out again, man, and having me over here. But it's really a treat for me to do this. So, format basically, I just like to hear, each individual in the band's like music upbringing, and what got y'all on the path to like where y'all at now. What was the influences? What was some defining moments in learning your instrument? Because I know y'all got stories to tell, because y'all got some. The talent is unmistakable from what I heard, man. So,
Thank you.
so whoever wants to go first, man, just dig in.
Well, looks like it's me.
There you go, Chewy.
This is Chewy.
Hey, and Chewy, what do you do?
So I play guitar in Green Gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're starting with musical influences, I think what happened that really got me into playing guitar specifically was my grandfather showed me the chords of House of the Rising Sun.
Oh wow.
But he couldn't do the arpeggiated part.
Uh-huh.
So every time I would mess that up, I was like, oh, I'm getting a little step closer, a little step closer. And then he had this 45 record called Stars on 45, and it was like a medley of Beatles songs by a bunch of like cover bands or whatever, like the Trogs and all these like cheesy pop bands covering Beatles. And so I started like learning all the Beatles chords and stuff on an old Fender acoustic, and then it just skyrocketed from there. And then I heard Sweet Child of Mine at a Walmart in Denham Springs, and I go, what the hell is this? And I bought Appetite for Destruction when I was probably about 8 years old, and I'm on my third copy of that album because I've worn it to shit so many times. And that's what took me off, with playing guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like 8, 9 years old, you were just getting it. Like
Yeah, I
playing
actually
Guns N'
started on
Roses.
bass, and
Oh,
I called
wow.
it a bass guitar.
Bass guitar.
Yeah, I had a fishing pole, and I would catch some fish in the backyard at the time to go play my bass guitar. It was an SX Target guitar, and I had the full intention of being a bass player. And when I got to high school, 2 or 3 years later, because I got the bass guitar in 7th grade, there was like 14 bass players and like one guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, now I'm going to go get a guitar. So I got a little Squire. And then, was in 3 or 4 high school bands from there. And I've been in a couple bands before Green Gasoline. And that's now why I play, the 6-string.
So what kind? Once you grew up, like past, I say when you entered like junior high school area, like does those influence stay the same? Did you like gravitated toward more what other kind of music, I guess?
So early on, like with Appetite for Destruction, I was into like Black Sabbath a lot in early high school. Appetite, like anything 70s, 80s metal and early grunge.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really go after. I'd say Down on the Upside by Soundgarden. After '96, I kind of check out of music.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, there's a couple hits now and there. But,
Right.
In high school, I was playing in like a cover band that would do like Red Hot Chili Peppers and like 311 covers and stuff, and it was cool for a while. And I stopped listening to some of my influences, and then when I got really serious about practicing and scales and like songwriting and finding my own niche, so to speak, I went back to all those old records, and I had like a rejuvenation and revival of listening to Appetite again and Black Sabbath Volume 4. And
I'm with you on that one. That in fact, we were talking about Speed Wilson earlier, me and Dylan. Speed had put favorite 70s album, and I just Volume 4.
Well,
I mean, that's just my opinion. That's
Yeah,
just
I
me.
got a Volume 4 tattoo.
Oh shit, yes.
Kirk Weinstein was like, "Wait, what is that?" I was like, "It's Volume 4." He's like, "Oh, okay, I see it now." So it was kind of funny.
Hell yeah. So you mentioned Denham Springs, Baton Rouge area. So what got you down here in New Orleans?
So I was supposed to actually move down here and room with my buddy Mikey at about the age of 22, and we are going to go to school for music business at Delgado and then progress from there. And some stuff happened, and I ended up like kind of chilling for a while, and I still had the plans of moving down here. And my band opened for Green Gasoline. We're called Booze at Gossa Gossa in New Orleans on a Sunday night, and there was a total of 9 people there. And so we ended up just having a lot of conversations and talks, and we became friends. And then I came out to like 3 of their shows or whatever. And eventually they needed another guy, and I got the call, and I was driving down there all the time with the intent of still wanting to move down to New Orleans. And then I was like, okay, well, this is the icing on the cake. I might as well do it now. And so it worked out, and I've been here ever since.
Hell yeah. Shit, that's fucking awesome. I mean, I remember like wanting to always move out here, but again, life gets in the way of some stuff, but whatever.
Yeah, well, it was this, or Lafayette was a thought in my early 20s as well, because Baton Rouge is just hard to like play more than just a couple daiquiri shops on the weekends. You know? And I just don't want to play wagon wheel all the time.
I think you made the wise decision to coming out here, man.
More bands, more venues,
more exposure too,
more
man.
Exposure, more just like-minded, riff heads.
Hell yes, nothing wrong with that. And how about John over there?
Just I guess influences, definitely my parents were both rockers from back in the day, and just I guess growing up listening to, they were big fans of The Who and Aerosmith and Allman Brothers, so I guess just for me being at that young age, I was just like a sponge, just really taking in all those tracks and tunes, and just kind of harboring a love for that music, and really getting able to appreciate it, and also kind of like bond with them over what they were into at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And was this your first band that you got into, or?
Dylan and I have been playing since like high school. We started a band, Royalty. At that time, we were just doing like, garage rock type stuff, just 2-piecing it up in the garage. And then we went to, I hate to say it, but we were a pop punk band. Don't hold it.
I won't hold it against you. I mean, I often joke with some friends, if I could do it all over again, I'd be in a pop punk band, man. It's fucking popular. They make money, They get all the exposure.
Right. I mean, who doesn't love pizza and friendship?
There you go.
Well, I want to say on that, so, yeah, we started playing together, so we've always kind of been in the same band, whether it's different bands,
Mm-hmm.
So, we were in Royalty together, and then pretty much Green Gasoline, but, like, with different members. But we used to play this place called the Cypress in Metairie down here.
Okay.
And they had a lot of really badass bands that rolled through there, and we got to open up for like state champs. There's like a huge like pop punk band now. But yeah, so been playing together for a minute.
Sounds like it, man.
But yeah, I mean, influences, it started with the 70s, 80s rock. Around like, mid 2000s, definitely got big into like the Slipknots and the Hawthorne Heights, and kind of that scene was big for me too. And it's just interesting. I like to keep it eclectic. I'm a hip hop head today, and I like to just have a little taste of everything, because I think it all comes together to form like a jambalaya boudin gumbo surprise.
Yeah, I mean that's what the state has made, especially the city. Is just known for. It's just a big melting pot. Mm-hmm. All kind of different genres and flavors coming together, like you mentioned in jambalaya, man. Yep. And make no mistake about it, people. I mean, when he says he's a hip hop fan, he's representing with Bone Thugs and Harmony on the shirt, right? I mean, it's the gears on the gears on point. So were you just completely self-taught playing drums, or did any lesson work with anyone, or?
I guess it first kind of was brought to my radar there's a school, St. Clement of Rome. I went to a middle school, and they're very like music centric, like even way more than sports. A big part of that was the director, Mr. Genevieve, who's like a wicked good trombone player.
Uh-huh.
And I guess it just started there. I saw the movie Drumline when I was like 10 with Nick Cannon.
And it was game over.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And my brother had a little snare drum up in his like closet in his bedroom, and I just broke it out in the backyard one day and was just like, you know, holding the sticks wrong, double traditional grip.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's where it started. And I kind of set it down for a bit, you know, got into Xbox and all that fun stuff. And then, you know, met Dylan in high school, and I guess I found out he played guitar. So I was like, oh shit, like I got a drum kit at the house. Like, let's get together and crank out some AC/DC and some Zeppelin. And, you know, rest is history.
Yeah. Shit, yeah, man. I mean, y'all were playing, I think I walked in on y'all playing How We Start, and that's whenever Pep got on stage with y'all, and I was like, dude, they're like fucking nailing it. And I knew it was something special, because whenever like you got Pepper Keenan yelling from the start, y'all fucking awesome, man. I was like, dude, yes, they are. And I was just really blown away by like the choice of songs that y'all that y'all cover. It's, you know, some are, you know, well known, some like not so much. But because like whenever y'all broke into Medusa, I was like, bruh, that someone's doing their homework on this shit, like for real. And I mean, I don't know what else to say on that. I was just mind blown.
Well, the story on Medusa, so this guy, he is got the biggest like encyclopedia of like 80s metal,
Chewy.
70s. Chewy, yeah, this guy, Chewy.
Chewy.
You know what I mean? You can pick his brain all day on that kind of stuff. So, you know, we're on tour, and we had a bunch of CDs going through the van. One of them was a Trapeze record.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just like sleeping in the back, and, you know, the little clean parts happen, and then all of a sudden it kicks into that. I'm just like, and I got up. I was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the instant thought was just like, "We just need to cover it." So, you know, I never heard of. I know Glenn Hughes, Deep Purple, but I never heard of Trapeze before. Never heard that song before, and it was just like, I just know we could fucking play that thing. So.
I know, like that's one of those songs I heard like through my dad as well. Like my parents, they're very much like hippies, and just I grew up in that element. Had a lot of older influences, and you know, I heard Glenn Hughes through Deep Purple, like he said, first, and then I went back and checked out Trapeze, and like totally like just put that song on the back burner, you know, growing up. And then when I heard y'all play, I was like, holy shit, dude, I'm in the right place. This is fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
So Dylan, let's talk about you know, all you know, your story, man. How?
So if you know. Both of y'all mentioned kind of like going back to like family and stuff. I got to pay ode to like my older brother Dustin, because he played guitar and he took lessons and everything. But like the moment that I knew I wanted to play guitar was he'd be up in his room playing freaking like Whole Lotta Love. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I just want to do that. And I took like a couple lessons, and they would kind of do the whole thing. It was like a group lesson.
Oh yeah.
Where the kids would go around and they put your fingers where they're supposed to be, and it's like strum, and it's just like clank, clank. It's just like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. So I like quit for like a couple months, and then my brother would be up there jamming. So I like got up there. I'm just like, show me something like cool. I just want to do what like you're doing. So tell me a power chord. And so once I learned the power chord, I was just going on YouTube, like typing in like Ramones, just doing like simple stuff. And so I just continually just like wanted to keep learning. So I kind of started off self-taught. You know, all the old school stuff I love, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Guns N' Roses is a huge one for me. So, because like when I met this dude, I'm just like, yeah, like we both kind of share that. All the old school stuff. And yeah, you know, as time went on, just like kept playing. And then I got lessons from Jimmy Hudson from Four Mag Nitrous.
Okay.
And he kind of like really helped me like hone my craft and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, it's no easy feat playing the fucking solos that y'all playing. I mean, like, you know, both of y'all, dude, like just watching it's closest thing. I mean, for me personally, in my humble opinion, I mean, it was like watching someone who maybe shared studio time with, like Zeppelin or something. Like, dude, like you nailing like every fucking note.
Thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and there was nothing sloppy about it, man. It was just, I mean, not only was the all collective playing, the performance was it was tight. It was a great time, and it was like I was just totally. I was like, I know y'all probably significantly younger than I am, and I was like, dude, there's hope for fucking music yet, So I really appreciate what y'all doing. That's for damn sure.
Those compliments, man.
Yeah.
Like I love rock and roll and like the 70s to 80s, like when it like really like came out, and ever since I always thought like we just need to see like another like resurgence of it, and I think it's starting to happen. There's a lot of like new bands coming out right now.
Yeah, and I remember like in 2007, 2008 time frame, whenever I got big into Scandinavian bands like from the get-go, like in 95, 96. But like 10 years later, I would like stumble upon bands like Witchcraft and Graveyard, and like they were doing, they doing their best to pay tribute to like
like
Sabbath and fucking Pentagram and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, yeah, it's like it's just, you don't want to just call it doom because it was a lot more than just doom. It was straight rock, like you mentioned, man. Right. And Bushcraft and Graveyard's still around, but it's like, man, like more and more bands are like trying to,
passing the torch.
Right. And it's really cool to see Green Gasoline doing the same thing here in New Orleans. Honestly, I mean that because like it's y'all could tell that I could tell that the covers that y'all choose is, I mean, the music means a lot to you all, because if you didn't like it, you wouldn't practice, you wouldn't go and through those motions as much as y'all do. And it's kind of weird. I feel like John's like the best con man right now because he's so calm, cool, and collected, but behind the fucking kit, he's a madman.
He's the animal, though.
He is the animal, man. So, Logan, last but not least, bass man, vocalist extraordinaire.
Yeah, so I guess my introduction to music was I had a few family members that were oriented in like band and marching band, symphony band. So early on I got into that. Shout out to my middle school educator, Miss Woods. She really brought music to my attention. As far as like rock music and stuff, I mean, it wasn't until high school that I heard anything about like Slipknot. We actually did an indoor drumline show called I think it was Out of the Wild. Anyway, it was Dream Theater music.
Oh yeah.
So my first introduction to that was actually through sheet music, not actually listening to Dream Theater itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like, I was appreciating it for the notes and stuff like that. And then I got into like other types of music, like minimalist music, like Steve Reich and some other more like exotic works of art or whatever, at least in symphony band.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got to college, just didn't really know what I wanted to do. My options as far as like a college degree in music were pretty limited in my opinion.
Yeah.
So didn't want to do that. And then first few bands I was in were like reggae, ska type bands. That's just the type of music I enjoyed playing at the time. And, real easygoing.
Yeah.
Just good time type music. And I had some other friends that played music like that too. When I got to New Orleans, I was still in a reggae ska band, and then that, kind of fizzled out eventually. And I wanted to continue playing music. Met Dylan and John. They were just kids playing trash cans and wood at Babylon at the time, which, I mean, was more than what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was just, as far as the influence thing, again, my first stepdad was heavy into like Beatles and like ABBA and some Zeppelin stuff like that. But really, like, I didn't really get into heavy rock and compositions like that until I was much older,
Yeah,
like in my 20s and stuff.
Okay.
Like I said, when I was much younger, it was a lot of sheet music, so I was listening and playing stuff I didn't particularly care for, or I did once I learned it. It was
Right.
fun to play, so to speak. Maybe not listen to so much, but yeah, my influences are pretty broad in that sense. I listen to all kinds of types of music, and
You started on drums too.
I did start on drums. Yeah, I was a percussionist in school.
Oh, wow.
So naturally that translated to a drum set. And then later on, I just, I played bass here and there, and dabbled on guitar, but never, like, took it anything, like, seriously, remotely. But, once we started playing more and I was, not forced, but somewhat forced to get some gear,
Yeah.
Hey, you need a bass and an amp and all that, even though Dylan already had that. But, yeah, it just started taking it a little more seriously, and it translated really well percussively because it's a very percussive instrument too. So, yeah.
So now I'm just going to go back to the sheet music about Dream Theater. Now that was Miss Woods, that was her idea to.
That was high school. So
Okay.
I'm gonna shout out to Brett Landry, my educator at the time in high school.
Shout out, Brett.
Shout out Brett. He's still educating now, as far as I know. But yeah, it was a indoor drumline show, so it's just drumline and pit percussion to do like melody stuff. But all the music was set after Dream Theater.
That's
we also
wild.
did Slipknot stuff as well.
What school is this?
This was New Iberia Senior High.
Holy shit, man! You were right down the street from
Right
me.
down the street. So
I was
grew up
from.
there,
I grew up in Delcom,
Oh,
actually.
you're Delcom? You got a pair of Delcom Reeboks?
You know it.
Yeah, so I grew up in that area.
I'll be
As far as
damn.
High school, went to UL for a little bit, did some percussion stuff, dropped out of there, went to McNeese for a little bit.
Okay.
Did some percussion stuff, dropped out of there. But yeah, it was. I mean, overall, those were some very forming years for me musically. But yeah.
So what was you mentioned ska? Like what are the big bands for you like coming up in that area?
In the ska ska scene.
Yeah.
Well, you had New Orleans actually had a pretty big ska scene back in the day when I was much younger, 2010, maybe the 2016-ish. And you had Skank and Pickle, you had Fatter Than Albert, you have bigger names that were Operation Ivy.
Yeah.
You have Bad Brains was also something out of.
Oh, they were just straight up hardcore,
straight
dude.
up hardcore,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But old first generation ska, Whaler ska, Toots and the Maytals, stuff like that. You just get into the old dub, just kind of branches out from there. B-side Sublime stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw this question out there, and whoever wants to jump on it, feel free. But it's what being that y'all listen to heavily influenced by a lot of classics, what's something that y'all listen to currently that y'all bring into the studio or bring into your own practice regimen? So you know what, maybe Green Gasoline needs a little bit of this in the set or something. If
Good.
So me and John, big 311 heads.
Okay.
And there's some about the groove element, also Pantera, but I don't know, I'm a huge 311 fan, and they have all these really awesome kind of jammy, flowy, kind of bouncy riffs.
yeah.
And that I'm super influenced by that, and every now and again I'll squeeze in kind of a little groovy something so that's one for me, 311.
Nice. Anybody else want to hit on that?
And I'll say from I guess the influences that I bring to the chalkboard or something is I like that compositional singer-songwriter approach of Thin Lizzy and the first couple Dio records.
Oh, hell
and
yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
So I'm always studying how does this band make a key change solo section here? This band has pre-choruses, it's not always just verse chorus and stuff. So I bring in I don't know, the classic 80s badass record approach to some riffs that I'll bring to the table, so to speak, and then somebody will take the torch from there. And
So you want to bring your own flavor of Use Your Illusion.
something like that. 70s Scorpions.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
In Trance, stuff like that. I'm always looking at the back of albums to see who wrote this, and then like all this, and that's I guess where the encyclopedia thing comes from. And,
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey guys, like this song's good, but like we need like a section C right here, like and I'm always just like trying to like Frankensteining how that thing goes and becomes one. But
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess like vocally, like I get a lot of different influences. So I'll think like, what would like Phil Collins sound like in Def Leppard type thing?
Yeah.
Like, or maybe like I don't know, your boy Jim Gillette from Nitro.
Uh-huh.
Right? Sing like just. I try to like take somebody's voice and influence, and then be like, what would that be like? Like, you ever hear those really cool mashups on?
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Aussie, and then like
Yeah.
some like disco song,
Uh-huh.
and it sounds amazing.
Right.
So like I try to do that in my head sometimes, especially like, or at least bring that to the table vocally, because it's like heavy melodies and lines that like do counterparts with what we're doing on like guitars and stuff. Really shines out. So yeah, I just think about stuff like that. Like if we wrote a rock song and brought in like, I don't know,
Britney Spears.
sure, why not? I mean, Christina Aguilera. We're like, sing like a rock song, and then there's something to capture from that.
Right.
Not necessarily exactly that, but yeah, that I feel like that's really where how music molds and folds itself.
Mhm.
And so again, from the retro aspect,
Yeah.
we got going on. Yeah, pull from a lot of different stuff.
So where does Green Gasoline, the name, come from?
Well, it was originally
Hello, it's Dylan here. Look, I can be here and say like, oh, like a whatever. It literally just kind of popped in my head. I was just like, what's something that kind of has like a rhyme scheme, like a rhythmic kind of like green gasoline?
Yeah.
It just kind of like made sense. And then it was also one of those things where I wanted to find a band name that wasn't taken before, so I'll go on like Facebook, type in Green Gasoline. Yeah, that was the one before too. OTL, Over the Limit.
What were we gonna be named?
Okay, so originally, well, there was Steezy as well.
Let's hear the story.
Steezy.
We did start with Steezy.
Okay, so the origin, so Steezy, but then Over the Limit, which isn't like a bad band name. It's a cool band name, and when you write it out and you look at it, it's like a dude like on the ground, looks like he's like throwing up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was one of those things where we weren't like fully like invested in it, and I just kind of thought about Green Gasoline. I looked it up, wasn't taken. There's like some like gas station somewhere in random part of the United States called Green Gasoline. So I was just like, that sounds got a ring to it, and everyone was down with it. So nothing too crazy with it, just a cool sounding name.
That's not at all what I thought what it meant.
It does. It can implicate like meanings. Like I've thought about it. Yeah, like.
Apparently.
Like what?
One I thought was cool was like, what's the color, the thing that like fuels the world? You know, like green gasoline, and then weed. Obviously, that's the big one.
That's exactly right. Now I was like, man, you actually see like maybe, the green fuels their machine. So
I mean, yeah.
And I'm with it. It's all good. I am not hating.
It's also like a new sustainable energy source.
Dude,
possibly.
right now you're talking.
We've got. I've gotten messages about that. Like, do you guys know you're?
We're all about.
I didn't know we were.
We're all about sustainability and clean energy at Tales from the Riff. Make no mistake about it.
No mistake about it.
Yeah.
If we could power our amps with,
Biofuels?
biofuels.
Fucking right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
If anybody wants to contact us about being the first band to do that, holler.
Holler. Yeah, get in touch with me, and my people talk to their people. It should be great.
maybe one day we'll play a show as Salsa Verde.
Yeah, some solar powered amps, whatever. It works.
Hell yeah. Fucking powered by corn and shit. That'd be great. Man, so we mentioned music earlier, and I would love for like people who will listen to this episode to get a feel for what y'all do as a group. And why don't we check out this next track? Is it Sweet Mercy, right?
Yeah, Sweet Mercy, and this is actually unreleased. This will be.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fucking exclusive.
Yeah, new album.
Yep. All right. Without further ado, here's Sweet Mercy by Green Gasoline, y'all. So that was the unreleased track, newly unreleased track, "Sweet Mercy" by Green Gasoline, and that shit fucking banging.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. So, who did the production on that?
So we recorded at Studio in the Country, and Jay Wesley, he plays bass for Crowbar. He was one of the producers.
Shane Wesley.
Oh, did I say Jay? I meant Shane. I meant Shane Wesley. Jay Wesley is his brother who, like, fully works at Studio in the Country. So he was the main guy there. Shane was, like, co-producing, I guess you can say. But yeah, it was, the two brothers, the Wesley brothers.
Fucking did an incredible job, man.
Yeah, huge shout out to Shane, especially for believing in us and like maintaining a friendship and stuff. And he really wanted us in there and wanted to help out for sure. Wouldn't have got that record without him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really makes things different when you just feel a mutual respect between what we're doing and trying to do, and just make a
Yeah, it just makes the process a little bit more seamless for y'all, for everyone involved.
Yeah, we did it. So it's 8 tracks, I think, on the new album.
Yeah.
And we did that in 3 days. So we cut as much as we could with the time we had, and just came out great.
And he's got like a lot of the same influences as us as well. Like I remember like there's one specific song that's going to be on the album called Swampgrass Boogie, and we have this dun 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 ba-na-na, bump bump. And he's like stroking his beard, and he's like, "Man, that sounds like something off Killer by Alice Cooper." And
Yeah.
I was like, "How did you know?" Yeah. So, and we were able to talk about Fastway, and I remember him saying he had the Whitesnake CD in his car and stuff. So that was all brought into the studio and in discussions and stuff. And I believe we used some of the same mics that apparently Kansas did.
Yeah.
On "Carry On My Wayward." Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Go to Horror. They recorded over there too, and I remember Sammy telling me that they had was it a piano or something it was some instruments that recorded Kansas. I know that.
Yeah.
Definitely the room and like the gear in its entirety is out of a time capsule. Basically. And also Cinderella.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're digging for those.
Shout out Kiefer, huge influence. Shout out
Huge.
Kiefer. But yeah, it was definitely like a remarkable experience, like to be there, like with all this vintage stuff, that's not as much around anymore.
Right.
You go to a lot of studios, and sometimes it's a dude's, apartment.
Yeah, all digital.
Everything into the screen.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
Yeah, like just being in that environment just like helped us really like, it helps make the album the way it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really cool to like go grab a soda, take your break, let the other guy get in, and you just see like a Willie Nelson platinum record on the wall, Cinderella Heartbreak Station, Kansas Overture. It was really awesome to step outside and get that as opposed to somebody's apartment, where you're just staring at his like Walmart Metallica poster, and you're like, man, like, it was just a good environment to be in to cut something.
Speaking of soda, just a quick note, they had a vintage soda machine there.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge soda fan. I drink a lot of Coca-Cola. Probably shouldn't, but I do anyway. And
I'm with you on that. You gotta live, baby. You gotta live.
It's a universal treat. But anyway, they had a vintage Coke machine dispensing glass Coke bottles.
Oh, hell yeah.
On demand for $1. I was in heaven.
Yeah.
It was
They
awesome.
also had a Bogalusa Opoly
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
They like walked out of the room like, you guys want to go in the sound room? Like,
Yeah.
playing like fucking Monopoly. Like, oh yeah, we probably should.
Shout out
Cards.
Maiden Jay's dog, who kept us entertained for hours.
Oh yeah.
What kind of dog was he?
I think some kind of
It's like one of those like
greyhound
fast
or
dogs.
very
that-
fast, slim, thin dog. I'm not a dog expert by any means. But yeah, it was definitely a hunting type dog.
Okay, like kind of like a lab or
sweet
something.
pooch.
All right.
Honestly, yeah.
Hey,
Had like a deer leg, he would always be in his mouth.
Yeah, found some deer parks out in the woods. Yeah.
it's great shit right there, bro. So, what keeps y'all busy during the day whenever y'all not, riffing out, practicing, and if y'all care to say?
I work at a restaurant called Juan's Flying Burrito.
Oh shit, yeah, man.
They cater very well to musicians and touring and shows, and there's a lot of musicians that still work for the company or worked for the company in the past from, bands like Pears and I Hate God.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have their own record label, and I'm in talks with one of the owners about – don't hold me to this. This was just a quick little conversation, but maybe in the future getting like a compilation album
Yeah.
from all the Juan's artists and stuff.
Oh, that'd be
But,
pretty sweet.
Yeah, like I said, don't hold me to that, but yeah, so they're very catering towards musicians and stuff, so it's a great company to work for. Especially, serving tables in New Orleans, like, no shame, dude, the money's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I guess this is John. I do like electrical work. I've definitely been doing like construction and stuff. Just seems like it's one of the few jobs where it's like, you can pretty much look however you want. I can have long hair.
Yeah.
And, throw in the headphones at work, and it's cool because I run into like a bunch of other people that also play music that you'd never expect. You just like meet these like 60-year-old dudes that are like, oh man, yeah, I used to have a Marshall Stack back in the day, and just like shit around on the job site and talk.
For green gasoline.
Definitely. And yeah, so just like construction type stuff. That's kind of what I've been doing the past few years in the meantime, just to make ends meet.
I'm really curious, John, because I haven't heard too much from you. You sitting there, pretty quiet, and I'm not picking on you, but I'm really curious what drummers like you really like you currently look up to as far as just grooves or picking up different I don't know, different ideas from, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like as far as some newer guys. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. Their drummer is really, really solid, and he's becoming like you listen to the first album, and you listen to him now, and he's really growing into like a masterful player when it comes to time signatures, and he is that glue for that band to kind of go wild, and I like to kind of see myself as that. Just holding it together, being that glue. There's a drummer for this band, Big Business.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Cody Willis.
Cody Willis, dude. I saw him live, and he really. It's just like when you see someone and you're like, that's what I want to do.
Yes. Who's now with High on Fire, by the way.
Yes, dude. Ridiculous.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what they cook up, and I think they're like putting the final touches on a new album or something like that right now currently.
Dude.
And I mean, just the stuff with him and Jared with Big Business. I mean, I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking up. He is just awesome. There's no way to put it. He is like I would say like my generation's Dale Crover of the Melvins, but
yeah,
like just wide open, no throttle.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Cody, he's one of those dudes. And then I guess just going back, I'm a big like, I love the Meters, and big Bonham guy, Keith Moon. Some of that like wildness definitely comes through in my playing. Yeah, a little bit of old, a little bit of new.
Hell
and just
yeah, man!
Trying to take it in.
Any newer influences for you, Dylan?
Guitar wise?
Yeah, guitar wise, or just musician wise.
I mean, not too many like new like. There's not like a like the music world right now. There's not too many of those like guitar hero guys that you see too much anymore.
Okay,
there's a few. But, like, I always go back to the old school stuff, man. Just, like, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Slash, Joe Perry. Like, I just always stay on, like, the old school stuff. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Just
that either.
The classic heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you always, like, learn something new, even though, like, there's so many videos out there. You watch the same video over, you find something new. Like, I'm always just grabbing and picking from, like, every little thing I see.
You saw that lineup they're gonna have in October?
Yeah, dude.
In where Coachella's held?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Dude, I want to go to that, dude. It's like every fucking band that I love so much, like all in one bill. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's Alice Cooper, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
I think Ozzy's
Tool.
back on there.
Ozzy's back on there too, yeah.
Metallica as well. I don't know if Pantera was on
No,
there.
I didn't see Pantera on there, but yeah, I mean, it's like, man, I mean that anyone who's ever listened to music in the '80s, '90s, or to now,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the dream
that's the
lineup.
dream lineup right there, because from what I've heard, I never got to see him, but AC/DC never fucking disappoints.
Oh, dude, that's like one of my favorite. Yeah, for sure. Angus Young, huge fucking influence, man. Like he was like the original, just straight up like headbanger. Fucking,
Yeah.
I don't know how he like headbangs so hard and also play those solos so like flawlessly.
Yeah.
While fucking running around the stage
Like a madman, just-
right. Yeah, exactly. So stuff like that, I always try to like take pieces from. You know.
So I always got to ask everyone who comes on this, and I like to get y'all defining 6 albums that y'all just cannot live without. And whoever wants to go first, let's hear it.
All right.
All right, here comes
here's some
Chewy.
Pauses. So it's 6 albums a person.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I will start with Appetite. Like I said, that's what got me into hard rock. I love the Beatles because I learned all those chords first and foremost. So I'll go with Rubber Soul.
Okay.
Let's go with Volume 4. Got it on my arm. Love Black Sabbath. I like the greasiness of that album. Can't live without Hair of the Dog by Nazareth is, in my opinion, the greatest, just bona fide, dirty rock and roll album out there. Let's see. Like I said, there might be some momentary pauses.
Ah,
I'm
yeah, no
really
problem.
thinking.
Yeah.
All time.
Can't live without. House is on fire. What you grabbing?
I got those. UFO, Strangers in the
Oh,
Night,
yeah.
live.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to actually grab 3 more. I'm grabbing Whitesnake 87, Last in Line by Dio, and Thin Lizzy Black Rose.
And that's what we call an overachiever. That's fucking great selections, though, man. You cannot go wrong with that. Who wants to go next? Dylan, stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, I'll go next because like half the albums you named, same. So number 1, me and him, like I said earlier, we share that Appetite for Destruction. That was like the first album, that rock and roll album that like really fucking like put me like full steam ahead into like this kind of music. It was just like they're so fucking cool. Axl Rose with the fucking his vocal range, / Izzy, that like combo of like lead guitar, rhythm guitar. They just like talk to each other, almost like the Rolling Stones kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'll be really honest with you.
Yeah.
Like when I was around whenever that came onto the scene back in 87, and I just saw those dudes and I was like, I learned everything about the female anatomy through Guns N' Roses because they had women just flashing at every concert and like you know, and I was like,
they fed the band, you know, like they made them survive, you know.
I was like, I want to be one of those dudes so bad.
Right. So that was definitely like the initial, like you saw that and you're like, that's what I want to do. So yeah, number 1, Appetite. Number 2, I would probably say Houses of the Holy, Led Zeppelin.
Great album.
Yeah,
Fucking
so many
name.
great songs. Number 3, I know I'm gonna be a little bit slower on this, but probably Power Age by AC/DC. Yeah, that one and Highway to Hell, but Power Age, like it was so much more raw.
Yeah.
And, like so many good tunes on there. It's kind of like slept on. Not many people know about that album.
I know.
Let's see, got 3 more. Sabbath. Well, I'm saying Aerosmith, Rocks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the Saddle,
Last Child. Fucking right.
Yeah. Fucking can't get the lead out. Like I've made so many fucking riffs just from that riff.
That
you know.
yeah. That album is just like it's as rock and roll as it is fucking funky.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
that groove.
Yeah,
you know? And like the drummer, he plays so straight, but it works so well because you got Joe Perry just playing the like sloppiest little fucking. But the drummer comes in, like they fucking perfected that. Yeah. So that's a fucking huge one. Skinner.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Honestly, I can't name one album. I just like this huge Skinner fan.
Yeah, I think Hennessy said the same thing.
Yeah.
whenever he was like he was like fucking Skinner, man. Just everyone else want him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got 2 more.
Well, I think that's 6. I think that
Six?
yeah, because you mentioned Sabbath. You didn't say what
Yeah.
album though.
Yeah. Well, so I would have to say Volume 4 too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like if you can like find one album that almost like paved the way for stoner metal or stoner rock, whatever you can call it. Like,
Yeah.
that was the fucking
A
album.
lot of fucking genres, man,
Yeah.
in that one album because it's a personal favorite of mine from them as well. Like I mentioned that so many times on this podcast, and I think the one defining song for me is Cornucopia.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just that.
Dang.
Yeah.
And they say what Cream like ripped off that lick or whatever, the fucking politician.
Uh-huh.
Has that similar
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah, dude, I've been on that fucking that track as long as I can remember.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, dude, I mean the C standard, man, it's great. I love having moments like this with guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who was doing that back then? You
Fuck
know?
nobody.
And the tone.
Sabbath was.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, man.
And the amp builders were like, the speakers aren't supposed to do that.
What?
We're
We're doing it now.
All right, I have a little more time to think about this.
There
so
you
I'm
go.
gonna shoot my top 6.
Go ahead.
This is my 6.
Here we go.
No judging.
There's no
First
judgment
one
here.
is, King Crimson, in the
In the quarter,
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that one can spin all day almost. You know,
fucking
I'm in the right mood.
Pictures of a City. That song. Goddamn, every time.
Yeah, every last one of them on
Mm-hmm.
there for me too. The bassist for that band, I can't remember his name. He played the stick
Yeah.
for a lot of the years in that band, and that guy just his technical ability influenced.
Yeah, he was like the
mine, too.
original tapper. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, theoretically,
Yeah.
just for for bass, yeah. 2 is gonna be Dynasty by Kiss. I think that's my favorite Kiss record. Sorry.
I
I'm
messed
sorry,
up.
That's number 1. Pantera, Vulgar Display. That's my favorite Pantera album. I think. front to
Rightfully
back.
so.
Yeah, just chart wise, I think that's my favorite. Don't judge me on this one. Huey Lewis in the News, sports. I like Huey Lewis.
Nah, I like who you do. I was just fucking with you.
Yeah, he's just got something.
You like the
Songwriting, and dude, he like every song that even if it was like one of his like kind of like somber or sappy songs, it made you feel good inside. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I got Dio's Last in Line. I've been spinning that one a lot recently over some other ones, and then ELO's Out of the Blue. I'd have to put on there.
Nice.
That's nice. Yep.
So that's my 6.
Fucking right, man. That's all across the board.
Analog.
So what's next, man, for Green Gasoline? What y'all got coming on tap?
Our next biggest thing, I guess, is our album release.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a show for it, Twist of Lime in Metairie. It's on the 22nd of April, which is also Earth Day, which is also Sabbath's first name of the band.
That's
So
right.
it all
That's
comes
right.
Full circle
Minus
to
the
that
day.
day. Minus the day.
And you take it a step further. I mean, you could take it a step further in Dylan Carson's current band, Earth. You know,
Hey, it's all. You
it's
know,
it's all relative.
It's like a circle.
It's like yeah.
It's like a circle.
It's like a circle.
But
There's no end.
yeah, that would be cool. We got swinging doors on that.
Oh, yeah.
bill. That's got
Pat Bruders.
and Frank. He plays slide guitar. He's an amazing guitarist as well. That whole band, shout out. And then we also got Motor Riot. Motor Riot's on there. They're a kick-ass group of
Drab.
guys. And Drab as well. They're a big band upcoming in New Orleans with Steve Mignano. I think I said that right. And yeah,
Sounds
it's
right
gonna
to
be
me.
It should be a kick-ass time. We'll have a bunch of new merch and the new album, some posters and
Yep.
stuff.
And where can guys and gals find y'all on the medias?
I mean, we're mainly on Facebook and Instagram. We
Okay.
respond a lot to that.
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube?
as well. We have a channel and some videos up, but we're definitely more active, I guess, on the messenger side of things or whatever. Don't really do Twitter, so don't tweet us.
We recently did get a TikTok made.
Whoa.
So you should find us on TikTok soon. You know, we're working it out.
Yeah. Cutting those promos and all that good stuff. I saw one just like that y'all released maybe like just before Dylan had contacted me. I was like, oh, check this shit out. That cool little video where y'all in the vehicle and like, this is fucking kick ass.
Shout out to Jorge for all the video work he's done for
Jorge
us.
Crespo, he's done Tooth and Nail Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Got a few videos with us. And just works with us every time.
Hell yeah, man.
Shout out to him. If you're looking for some work.
Tooth and Nail Productions,
Yes.
making green gasoline look good. And man, I just again thank y'all for having me at your practice space. I'm just looking at all the half stacks, and I'm just like trying to.
This is like less than a quarter of our actual gear.
Really?
Still
This
in
is the
van.
stuff that just stays here.
Damn.
Yeah, we still got the stuff in the van from the show.
We don't unpack on Sundays.
Yeah, I need to get out of here.
Rag, our backs hurt. You know.
I need to get out of here before I start making like a negotiating tactics with the guitar players over here. My wife would be so fucking pissed off. You brought back an amp and a cab? They gave it to me. They gave it to me. Again, this is Green Gasoline, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Chewy,
Thank you.
John, Dylan, Logan.
Thank you.
And be sure to catch them April 22nd at Twist the Lime in Metairie. They're going to have an album release. I need to be there and fucking enjoy the show. And I'm Mo, Tales from the Riff. You can catch me on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So just Google my name, Tales from the Riff. Shoot me an email if you'd like to be on the podcast at mo@talesfromtheriffpodcast.org. And thanks again for listening. I'm out.
Woo.